Hey y'all, welcome back to my video. Today's video is going to be a cook with me. Um, I made gumbo and I wanted to show you guys how I made my gumbo. I actually used a pressure cooker to make it because your girl got a pressure cooker and she don't like to wait for nothing anymore. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the gumbo. It's very good. My tongue is burnt now because I was too impatient to wait until it cool. And yeah, I'm gonna give y'all step-by-step instructions on how to make it. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. First step is starting off by making a roux. You make a roux by having equal parts flour, equal parts butter. That's just a half a cup of flour, and I do like a whole stick of butter. So you're gonna allow the butter to melt. It was a little bit too much, so I took some out, but eventually I actually put that butter back in. I wanted to make a lot of roux because I knew I was making a big pot of gumbo. You basically are basing it off of how much you're gonna make. Okay, you guys, now that I've got my butter melted, I'm slowly adding my flour in, and you need to do it slowly. And yes, my camera had failed at that point, so I had to like reposition. That's me adding some more butter, but I'm still slowly adding the flour in. Like, you can not add that flour in too fast. It's not gonna act right. Now, one thing about a roux, it's very tricky. You can't have your heat up too high. You can't have the heat down too low. And you may need to keep on turning up and down. With me, I have electric stove. Electric stove is very hard to control the temperature. So you gotta keep keep turning the heat up and down, but you're going to continuously stir. This was literally about a 15-minute process. I did have to get Michaela to help me stir. My hands started getting tired, but you have to keep stirring because if you don't, it will burn and it's not good. You might as well throw the whole thing away. But also with a roux, one thing you need to know is, depending on what type of soup or whatever it is that you're making, what color you need. If it's something that you want it to be lighter, a little bit lighter flavor, you're gonna like this will be the perfect consistency for you. Now, if you want something that's more richer flavor, like a gumbo or a beef stew or something like that you're thickening up, you need it to be a darker consistency. Now, another thing with a roux is you have to be able to watch it to see what color it is, because once it start getting dark, it take forever to get it to dark, but once it start getting dark, you have to hurry up and get it off the heat when you're at the color that you want, or you will burn it. So with this, you stir, and once it starts getting dark, it's gonna go like really fast. And so as you can tell, it's starting to get a little bit more caramel, darken up a little bit more, and then it's gonna go really fast. On here, I actually started to pick up my pan and still stir it close towards the heat, because I want it to be like that chocolate consistency, chocolate color, because that's what color I want to have in my roux, and this is what I wanted right here. So I took it off the eye. I also made a seafood stock. I would have to do a different video just to show you how to do that. I used a frozen bag of vegetables for gumbo mix because it's just easier, and I did also use some fresh bell peppers too because I had them. So at this point, I have transferred my roux into my pressure cooker pot. Normally you would do it all in the same pot, but I want to do it in the pressure cooker, so there. What I have right here is bell peppers, onions, and I'm gonna add some garlic in too as well. Right here, I'm adding the rest of my vegetables. Really, it's just bell peppers, onions, and okra. And some people like to add tomato chunks. I didn't actually have any. I would have added some if I had some, girl, because I like chunky tomatoey stuff. But I didn't have any, so we just got bell peppers, onions, and garlic that we're adding into our roux. And if you guys see, that roux darkened up a little bit more when I took it off of the fire, which that's the consistency, that's the color that I wanted. But you're gonna stir that around. If you're not using a pressure cooker, you would stir that around for maybe about, I'll say about 2 to 3 minutes before adding any liquids in, so that it can actually cook and mix together. But I stirred it around for a little. So I added chicken to mine, and I'm adding some Creole seasoning and black pepper. That's it. I don't want this chicken to be too salty because there's going to be enough seasoning in the gumbo. And I just wanted just enough seasoning on it so that it's not too salty, but it still has flavor with it. Now, as far as with this chicken, we are not cooking this chicken all the way. We're going to add just a little bit of olive oil, and I'm using extra virgin olive oil to cook my chicken. Just a little olive oil to the pan to coat. And you're going to want to get that pan very hot. Sometimes I like to test it by touching it with the chicken to see if it's hot enough. And but you want to, we're not cooking it all the way. We just want to basically sear it on both sides. And the reason why I'm doing it is to lock in that flavor of the seasonings. It's just, to me, it makes it better. And the reason why I'm not cooking it all the way too as well is because you don't want your chicken to be too tough in there. You want it to be just right. So if I cooked it all the way before I put it in the soup, it's going to double cook. If I don't cook it all the way and I just seared it, it's going to be perfect, and the chicken is going to be like butter. So that's why I only sear it on both sides. And I also chop it up into nice chunks. Okay, so that seafood stock that I had, I'm going to pour that into my roux mixture with the okra and the bell peppers and onions. I would just strain it, but I didn't make that much. I made just a little bit just for the flavor. Like not even a whole lot at all. Just a little tiny bit for the flavor. And yeah, I added that into my little mixture. As you can see, that mixture is bubbling because I actually put it on the sear and saute mode on the pressure cooker. Next thing we're adding is chicken broth, because I like to, I mean, you can add water, you can add chicken stock, but I like to add chicken broth to anything because it adds flavor. Chicken stock adds flavor too as well, but I definitely don't like to add water because yeah, I think chicken stock adds more flavor to anything. But if you don't want to do that, you can add water. It's fine. Okay, so now that both my chicken breasts are seared on both sides, I'm going to take them and chop them up in chunks. Now, mind you, don't get scared when you chop it here and it's raw, because like I said, we are not cooking it. We are just searing it on both sides. And girl, I had to use tongs. This chicken was hot. But we're searing it on both sides. But don't be scared when you cut in and the middle part is raw, because girl, we not cooking it all the way. We want it just to be seared. That's all. See, look, it's still a little pink on the inside, but it's fine. We're not trying to make it fully cooked. We're just trying to sear it on both sides. Now that we got our chicken all chopped and everything, we're going to add that to the pot and stir that in. So at this point, I'm going to start seasoning. Onion powder, some shrimp crab oil, just a little bit, not a lot. Some Creole seasoning, garlic salt, and black pepper. Now with that with that shrimp boil, if you want it really spicy, you can add a little bit more. But if you don't want it super spicy, I wouldn't add a lot because that's something that's really spicy. But I would taste after you do this just to make sure that it tastes good and it has a good consistency. Now what I'm going to do next, and this is only for people who are pressure cooking, I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on and put it on 15 minutes. And I'm going to cook that at 15 minutes. And then I'm going to add my seafood afterwards. So the reason why I did the seafood afterwards is because, first off, my shrimp was already done. So that would have been something that I actually didn't need to put in there until afterwards. But shrimp cook so fast that you really could just add your seafood after it's done anyway. But this is 15 minutes later. Added my seafood. I'm going to let this simmer in there for maybe about 2 to 3 minutes, if not less. And then you'll have your gumbo. You can eat it with rice. I don't. I sometimes do, but I just like it like this, as like a soup. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday.